Right. Okay. So good morning to everyone. Uh, Myself Mangesh Sudhar. So I will be your chief instructor for this course. I will be walking you through the theory sessions as well as simulator and practicals. So next, whatever the 5 days we are going to be engaged till 9th of this month. The next month. Uh, we will be connected over the phone. We'll be physically, during our practical sessions, we'll be interacting and doing our lectures and sessions. Okay. So welcome to DGCA remote pilot course, drone pilot course, small class rotorcraft VLOS. So these names or these numbers or these words probably may not be very clear to you initially, but I can assure you by end of the course or by end of the theory sessions, you will be aware what is what and what not. Okay. So basically, our drone pilot course is for small class rotorcraft VLOS. Okay. So let's see first. Before we begin, let's have the introduction. So I would like all of you to give one by one introduction about yourself, what you do, what is your education. You can talk about your family background, and then probably you want to tell more about your motto of joining this course. What do you think that you will be taking away from this course, and what do you intend to do in future from this course?
Sure. You want to start with me?
Yeah, Jaishil, you can start.
So, hi everybody. My name is Jaishil Malapur. Uh, I work with CFI Technologies, and I head a segment there under digital applications for software development. I've been into IT for a long time now, 20 years, predominantly on the applications and software side. I've done my postgrad in mass communication from KC College and masters in business administration from Australia, Melbourne University. Uh, this is way too out of my league to, just out of sheer curiosity and the domain that it is an upcoming domain, a niche opportunity in this market. Uh, so I just want to try my hand. Basically, it's to understand this drone market. It's a very new market, right? It's a very new market, but a lot of potential into it. So we have some plans going further into it, for which we are doing this course.
Great to hear you. You carry a long experience related to IT as well as the background. Um, so that's a good. That's the first step what you have taken joining this new industry. It's just at a very initial stage or nascent stage, I would say. Currently, I would say drone industry is at the same juncture where in 80s computers, desktop and laptops were
Correct.
available for the people. And that point in time, people used to think how this desktop or laptop would be useful. But now you know how people are using desktops and laptops or even the mobiles to that sense. Even when in 2001 we had mobiles, those were just like phones which were we can talk a long distance. But I think today without mobile we can't leave ourselves for a second also. Like whether we go to washroom, whether we
Correct.
go to whatever, the mobile is always there with us. It is just being a part of our body. Okay, so other day I was seeing some video which where they were talking about mobile, part of the body itself, like a thin film, and you can just on the palm itself it was demonstrating the display and all that things. So we never know what. So similarly, the drones also at that stage at that juncture. On a every day we are seeing that the application of drones uh, being adopted into various. Like other day I was seeing a clip on mobile where the drone was adopted in a circus. The Joker was playing with the drone and it was imitating and was drone was used to make people laugh. The way the Joker was trying to do things and drone trying to tease him and all. So now people were laughing and enjoying it. So see, the circus has adopted a drone for their entertainment kind of for people. So we never know where drone could come into the picture, like being it into agriculture, infrastructure, inspections, or cinematography, aerial photography, surveillance, monitoring, supply, delivery, all the segments we have seen it. Yeah, thanks,
And
Jaishil.
I feel, sir, this is just the beginning, right?
Yes, yes,
Technology in itself keeps evolving. As you gave a great example, right? In 90s, nobody even dreamt that, today, the phones, the smartphones that we have will kill the camera market,
correct,
right?
correct,
It evolves into itself. Like, 5, 10 years back, what AI started, right? As a concept, today, generative or be predictive AI, right? It is becoming the agenda, right? We are day by day becoming slaves of technology. And
correct,
combination, like you said, right? Drones today, tomorrow it will be combined with more and more AI concepts into it, which will
correct,
make life more and more easier, rather than I mean, in other words, will become more and more slaves of this technology going further. And ease of work or ease of concept of anything, right, is what we call evolving in technology. There was a time when we used to remember phone numbers on the back of our hand, right, for our friends.
correct,
For today,
correct.
hardly we remember anybody's phone number, because you call
Even
Siri,
we
please
don't
call
remember
this one.
our number also sometimes. It's so
All you have to do is
difficult.
just Siri, please call this one. Siri, please call
Yeah,
that. Yeah, everything is like, look at, I mean, the whole world around us, right? We are becoming
correct.
slaves day by day, and this is what it is. I mean, evolving technology is making you more and more into it. So this is the future, as I feel. I mean, you know, so that
Correct,
is
correct.
more
Absolutely,
that is the
absolutely.
curiosity point for me to get into this.
Yeah, great, great. Yeah, Jagjit, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, this is Jagjit here. I have close to about, I am working along with Jaishil in the same, and I have close to about 23 years of experience through and through in sales, business development, P&L management in the telecom domain, as well as now in the IT, the ISP domain now.
Okay,
So it's a good opportunity to learn this because, as Jaishil pointed out, this is the way the technology is moving it, and plus understanding this and putting it to business use is what I would look at, because one is that there is an aspect to flying drones, but there is another aspect to it is how can you include the technology to serve your regular normal customers, your B2C customers, because there's a lot of B2B engagement that's already happening and it's underway. Although there is scope, as Jaishil is mentioning, but there is a scope for B2C as well, because that's where the masses are. And I just wanted to understand, how we can take this forward, how do we engage with the current technology, and how we can grow this to build a business model together so that it can make meaningful sense for us as well as for the consumers that we serve.
definitely, definitely. I mean, there is a long way to go. We are just three. I mean, if you see from the India perspective, the drone industry is just 3 years old. Okay, so I'll tell you how 3 years old we are considering. You might think that drone has been so long. There are people who are flying and this and that, but we'll come to that stage. Good, thanks, Jagjit, for your introduction.
So
Paragji,
also, sir, we wanted to understand on what is the do's and don'ts. I'm sure you will cover that.
yeah, yeah,
The ecosystem that India provides, and
yeah,
how
yeah.
do we operate within the guidelines that is laid down by the government.
Definitely, definitely. So first module is all about that only.
Great,
So
sir.
first module is little bit lengthy module. I take it as per the timelines, the way I execute. So
Sure.
basically, it is 1.5 hour session, but sometimes it goes up to 2 hours or something. So there is, I don't see the time limit when I'm delivering the lecture. I see whatever the best I can deliver it to you guys, and I'll definitely make sure that all your queries, questions are being answered, and all your thought process are put up into the right direction.
Sure,
Yeah,
sir. Thank you so much.
yeah, thanks. Over to you, Paragji.
Hi guys, this is Parag Raze. I am little senior to you guys in terms of age, but not in terms of heart, I guess. I am 56 years old, and I have been in the field of finance for almost like 25, 27 years, both as a salaried profile as well as a consultant profile post my endeavor in exploring on my own entrepreneurship. Now I want to get into drones because I clearly see that this is an industry where the avenues are just what you want to explore as an individual. If you want to explore the basic currently which are being explored, like agriculture, survey, or mapping, or defense. I foresee it coming into play in each and every field, at least in next 15-20 years. I'm looking at about 3-4 years time, where it will just completely burst into scene, where each and every aspect, like you have emails as part, or mobiles as part, drones will be part, and the size of the drones will multiply, both in terms of minuscule to a transport level, a logistic scenario. So I want to explore something which want to get into the business part of it, where I would like to set up a drone related industry, not maybe in terms of what currently they are planning, but maybe geographically wise, something related to maybe in Mumbai, maybe in a particular location, maybe in a tourist industry, where I want to get into the would like to incorporate drone in that particular industry, so it benefits the industry as well as the locality where it operates, not in terms of commercial full gung ho part of it, but the utility part of it. That's my endeavor. That's the reason I think I wanted to set up and get into the drone part. That's my story.
That's great. That's great to hear. And the vision what you have put up, definitely, India is aligned to that. In fact, the central government has, or Modi government has already talking about that, taking drone industry, or probably wanted to make India as a drone global hub by 2030. Okay, so everybody is carrying that vision, and right from starting with 20 startups, we have now almost 300 plus startups in drone industries working under different segments, be it software, hardware, application, whatnot. I mean, whatever that ecosystem is required, everybody is looking forward and contributing to that. Being started initially, not a single part was made in India, but then I can see now after almost 2-3 years, the motors are being made in India, the propellers are being made in India, the batteries are trying to be made in India. There are a couple of startups who are currently working on the flight controller, or I would say the brain of the drone, development within India itself. So a lot of things are been getting kind of made in India, rather make in India, it is made in India. So we started the drone industry as make in India kind of thing, but now we are getting towards making it as a made in India. Yeah. Thanks, Paragji, for your insights. Over to you, Anirudh.
Hi, sir. I'm Anirudh. I'm almost 20 now. I'm doing BCA. My first year is almost finished. So I want to get into cybersecurity, but then there's a friend of my father who has done this course from the Bombay Flying Club, and he suggested this. He told me how drones are being used to crop dust, drones are being used to survey lands, and I travel by train to college every day, and I saw that even Indian Railways is using drones for something. Then I have also seen those videography, uh, uh, those videos on YouTube that they film using drones. So, and I've always been a fan of drones, but it was just a childish interest. But then, after learning about how the industry is gaining traction in India, I thought, let's do this.
Okay. Okay. Anirudh, you said that you go to college. I mean, what are you actually doing?
Bachelor's in computer applications,
From?
Pillai College, Panvel.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. So basically, you can also explore, there are a lot of applications been getting developed from drone perspective, rather, not only the operating of the drone, but there are a lot of backend applications been getting developed, be it like, for GIS part, or, for surveillance, whether for transportation, whether for analysis of the data, or the photography or photogrammetry kind of things. There are enormous applications are there with respect to the drones also getting developed. So, for I can tell you, like for example, like power line towers inspections, or windmill inspections, or solar panel inspections, or as you said that you have seen Indian Railways has adopted drones. Basically, those are sometimes like monitoring, or uh, checking the tracks. Sometimes even the structure of the cargo, or the car, or what we say coach of the railway. It is not possible for a human to see each and every part of the coach from all side, or maybe the underneath also. We have seen those kind of applications are being developed and getting tested, so that wherever the reach of the humans are not possible, or it becomes over the period of time, like we as a humans, we try to take things granted. Okay, we like after observing for 1 hour or something, I would say that by 61st minute, we will try to say, okay, theek hai, everything should be okay, that we have seen for so much time, hope everything should be okay, and that's how we carry forward, and then that's where the mistake happens. But whereas the machine or the drone probably would not do that same thing, so it will continue the monitoring as it was doing on the first minute itself. So that's the beauty, or that's the advantage of the machine being used for our day to day routine work and all that thing. So as Jayashil also initially pointed, that lot of work which was done by humans are now being getting done by machines, or the probably the computers, drones, or mobiles. But it is all up to us. How do we take advantage? Whether we become the slave, or we take the advantage of the technology, and see that it will be useful for us, so that we can focus more on the more critical tasks, or the complex tasks which machines could probably not do it. So even today, if you see, uh, we talk a lot about AI. If you really see from a research perspective, see, I always normally see things from the research perspective or the development perspective. We still do not have that kind of robot. We are always fascinated by technology and all that things. The technology is doing this AI. Like nowadays, a lot of people talk about AI and all the things, but still we do not have that kind of technology, or we do not have that kind of intelligence into the system, where it is 100% fail proof. Okay, yes, there are AI application tools are available, which are doing a lot of great things, but still they are not at par what a human can do. And I hope you all should agree on that part. Over the period of time, you will also learn more about it. If you think basic about a simple robot, robotic arm also, still it is not able to figure it out, still it is not able to recognize. I would say simple example I would give you is about the apple and the tomato. It cannot really differentiate between apple and tomato. Okay, until unless you give him 1,000 types of apples and 1,000 types of tomato, then the accuracy still would be somewhere around 80 to 90%. We cannot have 100% accuracy. Okay, so you from that perspective, you will see that even the technology is there. We need to train the technology, we need to bake. So the more number of data, more number of inputs have been fed to the system, it can come to that level, but still not what par, the what difference what as a human brain can do. The machine still cannot reach that. That's what we feel. There are a lot of people talking about that by 2025 was initially people were talking about. Now people are talking about 2030, that machine will surpass the human intelligence. But as I read a lot of research papers, and talk a lot to people from the research background, we still have a very long way to go. Like even flying a drone, it looks very fascinating when I'm flying a drone autonomously. Like I feed all the inputs, drone perform, but those are very still programmed activities, and still whatever I have fed the input, still drone, it doesn't have that kind of intelligence what a human can take in a split of second when it requires to take a decision. Okay, here the drone, or the robotics, whatever the device is there, we're able to take decisions only based on the set of results what it has fed, or set of commands what has been fed, or set of instructions what have been fed, based on that only it is able to take the decision. But if something which is beyond its instructions or commands, it cannot perform those perform in those kind of scenarios. So that's where it makes the difference between a machine and a human being. Okay, so that's a great. Let me start with the introduction about the Bombay Flying Club, and then I will give you about my introduction also. Okay, so welcome to Bombay Flying Club. The Bombay Flying Club was established in 1928. So I would say that when there was no aviation in country, that point in time, the Bombay Flying Club was established at the Jew Aerodrome, and basically that is what we called as the birthplace of aviation in India. And it has a lot of rich history. A lot of people are associated, like Mr. Late J.R.D. Tata, who actually is also called as father of Indian aviation, and was also the first person to obtain a pilot license from Bombay Flying Club. Okay, he was the first person to obtain the pilot license, and then he flew his small aeroplane from Karachi to Jew Aerodrome. That's the place we still have that aeroplane with us. It was initially, I mean, post 50 years or 60 years. After that, it was not maintained or thing. But recently, our students from aviation college, they have restored that aeroplane back into the working condition, and it was been tested also. So now that's what. Even the first woman who obtained the license was also from Bombay Flying Club. So that's where we see the Bombay Flying Club. So our professionals, we have trained crews who serves as a captain, engineers from leading domestic and international airlines such as Indian Airlines, Air India, Sahara, Jet Airways, Indigo, Singapore Airlines, Emirates. So all the most of the big airlines, our pilots or our engineers are being employed and working and serving the aviation industry. So we were the first to start the aviation in the country. Similarly, being as the first flying training organization uh, in 2019, Bombay Flying Club was also the first to obtain the authorization for conducting the training for the drone uh, trainings and flyings and all that thing. So initially we started from the Jew aerodrome, but then we have to shift our base to Dhule location where we were training till 2022. Post that, there were little bit changes into the rules and regulations, and then Dhule Airport is under our control and which predominantly used for training our pilots over there. So a lot of flying between Jew Aerodrome to Dhule Airport, and from Dhule Airport to Jew Aerodrome, and other small airports where students get trained and they do a lot of sorties over there. So flying when the aircrafts are flying the drones is not authorized or not. We don't get time to do all those things. So, or when we are flying the drone, then it is impacting our student pilots, aeroplane pilots flying schedule and all the things. So uh, we had to stop our drone activities at Dhule location, and then we thought about moving the drone training from Dhule to some nearer place to Mumbai, and that's where we actually zeroed down at the Igatpuri location, which was more or less easier to access from Mumbai, and traveling would be easier for students. And we last 6 to 8 months we worked on that infrastructure, setting up, identifying the ground, and setting up the infrastructure from classroom to simulators and all that things, and also making sure that students are comfortable traveling, staying, and having the basic necessities, things like food and all at the place. That's how we actually moved our base from Dhule to Igatpuri. So that's in 2024. Probably on 30th of December 2024, we got our site authorized by DGCA, and we started 2025 with the bank at the Igatpuri location. So that's how we started the drone training, or rather, I would say not started. I would say resumed at the new base from 2025. with the drones and the students enrolling. I mean, there were a lot of students who were inquiring about the courses and all the things, but since we were interacting with DGCA to get the things authorized, I mean, there were a lot of couple of inspections has happened at our site, and as per the instructions of the DGCA and guidance of DGCA, the new site has been transformed with their requirements, and it's now functional for their and all. So we are now currently into batch number 26. So that's why we always say DPC-26. So last week only we completed our DPC 25 batch successfully, and now we are heading into the new batch from today onwards. That's the DPC 26 batch. Okay. So being the first into aviation industry, we are also the being the first into the drone trainings also. Uh, so that's the quick introduction about the Bombay Flying Club with respect to the aviation and the drone industry in India. So I'll give you my introduction as Mangesh Sutar, accountable manager, as well as the chief drone pilot instructor for Bombay Flying Club. I have one more colleague who is also an drone pilot instructor with me, but more or less he is also involved into aviation and charter flights. So he's Mr. Captain Shivan, who also along with me helps to impart the trainings. So being as a drone instructor and then pilot for small and medium RPAS, and also as a IT project manager, I am worked for IT industry for almost 22 plus years. So that's my 12 years in Dell and 8 years in IBM and 2 years in Linux. So that's how my 22 years of career goes into IT industry. So I have worked almost all of the industries, whether it's in banking, finance, or it is manufacturing or semiconductors, almost all of the or pharmaceutical companies or even retail, almost all of the companies and all of the industries I have worked through IBM and Dell for their implementation, data center development, build, design, operations, all that things I have put up. I am already PMP certified, PFMP certified, RMP certified. Being into the drone industry, officially post 2022, I thought of moving or changing the industry, and as I was fascinated from the initially on the aviation industry. So my aviation background goes from my childhood point. I wanted to become the pilot, but due to some unfortunate reasons, I could not pursue that as a career. I jumped into the IT industry, and then being into IT industry for 20, I saw a golden opportunity as the drone industry was evolving. And during the lockdown, also, I tried making couple of drones and flying them during those times, and then saw that this is a great opportunity coming up of setting up the RPTO for Bombay Flying Club at Igatpuri. I joined Bombay Flying Club in 2024. Prior to that, I was working with couple of startups on designing, building the drones, and doing a lot of projects with respect to the drone surveillance kind of thing. That done project for BR Power Board for monitoring the power line towers. So I will, during the course of the time of the theory sessions, I will be giving you a lot of examples from that experience what I carry about the monitoring and inspection what we have done for power line towers or gas pipelines or water pipelines or maybe telecom towers, all those things. So being an expert in UA operations and training, agriculture, power line inspection, DGCA type certificate. So I do a lot of consultancy. Also, I have engaged with couple of organizations who are working in building their own drones and getting it type certified from DGCA. Okay, that in itself also is a big task, and getting your own drone certified for production and manufacturing, and then selling it to the people. Uh, uh, in itself is a setting up a small entrepreneur business kind of thing. I have already done my MSc in physics, and being a physicist, I had always fascinated with the technology as well as the science behind of all things. Currently, I am pursuing my PhD in computer science under geoinformatics from Symbiosis International University, Pune, and in shortly maybe down the line after 2 years I would be get awarded with the PhD under the computer science geoinformatics. So my topic is basically about the soil monitoring using drone technology and using geoinformatics technology. Okay, I have also worked, as I said earlier, worked with a couple of RPTOs. There is one RPTO which is getting set up in Vadodara also currently, probably next next week, Monday or Tuesday, we have audit. DGCA people are going to come to Vadodara and probably they are going to audit that new site. So I have been engaged with those people also and all. So, being as a passionate educator and mentor, simplifying complex drones and aviation concept. Also, I carry the hobby of astronomy. So, I do conduct a lot of astronomy sessions over the weekends. I do a lot of stargazing, astrophotography activities, and all. So, just last week only, I conducted a astronomy session at Ghoti, okay, under the Kalsubai Peak, or the base of the Kalsubai Peak. We had good crowd who had come there to see the Milky Way galaxy and other concepts of the universe and all the things. So that's about my background. I'm married and I have two kids. My elder son is basically studying the engineering in computer science and drone technology, and then my younger daughter is in seventh. That's about my family and being committed to advanced drone technology and geoinformatics training, the next generation of UAE and GIS professionals. So basically, if you see UAV, the drone technology, as the center government has already put a vision that we wanted to become a global drone hub by 2030. Similarly, the center also had looking forward for geospatial technology also, and they have already released a policy in 2022, a draft policy, and the final policy is probably getting released in this year. Probably by second half of this year, we should have a final geospatial policy will also be available. So basically, UAV and GIS go in hand, and center also envisioned that geospatial would be also a global hub for the geospatial technologies also. So your drone as well as GIS will be the center of the world where all the technologies would be evolved and available for people to use in day-to-day basis, right? So that's the introduction about myself. These are some of the opportunities I hope you might have encountered these kind of pictures or infographics where the drones can be used. Like it could be agriculture, it could be shipping, it could be parcel delivery, mapping, landscaping, food supply, insurance claim, infrastructure management, construction inspection, event photography, weather forecast, disaster management, medical supply, city surveillance, crowd monitoring, movie filming, military, wildlife. I mean, these are some opportunities what are being listed, but there are still every day I see the opportunity. Like as I said, the drone being used in circus for entertainment. Drone being used for solar panel monitoring. There are enormous applications are getting worked out by the people, and we never know how the drones will shape and will touch our lives in day-to-day basis by coming years. Okay, so this is the schedule. I hope everybody has gone through the schedule. So we'll start our day with the stakeholders and their laws. Drone rules 2021. This is most important, though the topic talks about 1.5 hour of session. It may go a little bit longer, maybe 2 hours or something like that. And then the next topic is about the basic principles of flight, then ATC procedure and radio telephony. Then we'll talk about the post lunch. We'll talk about the fixed wing operators and aerodynamics, rotorcraft operations and aerodynamics, and then hybrid operations and aerodynamics. And then lastly, if we have any questions, though we have a separate session on question answers if you have anything, but feel free to ask anytime in point in time. If you feel that this there is some query or question, please raise your hand or you can just ask me the question, or you can put up in a chat also. I would say rather putting in a textual way or something, it is better to interact one to one. I mean, we face to face. That would be much so that everybody will, will have a good exposure about the topic what we are learning. And then tomorrow we'll start with the weather and meteorology, drone equipment maintenance, risk assessment, and then payload installation, intro to drone data, and then probably end of the session we'll have the overview of the digital sky platform by DGCA. Okay. So once we complete all these sessions for day one and day two, when we come for day three at Igatpuri, that is on 7th of May, we will have initially a revision of our theory session. 40-45 minutes, we'll do the revision about our theory session through summary sheets. And then we will probably have the theory test, which comprise of 40-minute session. It's a MCQ based questions, and your passing marks is 70%. So out of 30 questions, you have to get your 21 questions, minimum 21 questions right, okay, to proceed for simulator session as well as do your flying and all. So I would request you to make sure that you spend your 2 days completely listening to me and interacting with me on the topics, and that will help you to understand more effectively. And I think by end of today's session, I would be sending you couple of documents on email. That could be the drone rules 2021, a summary sheet of whatever the theory sessions we had. So every module there will be a 1 or 2 page summary sheet which will cover everything what I talk about it, the main key points. So you really don't require to take any notes or anything, but at least go through that summary sheet probably by end of the day when you get it. Try to get them printed out so that it's very easy and handy for you to read and go through that. Then you'll, as I said, drone rules 2021. It's a 22 page of document which talks about the entire drone rules for 2021 and what we follow. And then I will be giving you a summary of the drone rules also, as well as a sample question paper, okay, which will have only 10 questions, but that's the gist, to give you how the questions would be there and what questions could be coming, so you get and feel about preparing yourself for the theory test and all. Okay. Apart from that, if you still have any questions, query, feel free to reach me any point in time. Um I'm just phone call away to you. In case I'm not able to pick up your call, you can just drop me a message on WhatsApp or SMS me also. So that I would probably, as I see your message, I will try to answer you as immediate as possible. Okay. So with that, that was the quick introduction about all of us and the schedule. These are the coordinates about the Bombay Flying Club. Our head office is at Juhu Ville Parle, and the email ID, we have already been interacting on this email ID, and my name, my number, and our ground classes currently we are conducting on online basis, as well as our UAE flying. That is our 3 days of flying or practical sessions are going to be conducted at Jaishin Lake Vaitarna Resort. That's the near Vaitarna Dam, Igatpuri, Nasik, Maharashtra. Okay. So that's it. So I will be also sending you the details. So I will be sharing you the number of the Jason Lake Vaidana resort person whom you have to coordinate and get your rooms booked for the 7th accordingly, so that you are placed with the rooms availability over there. Okay. Being in the resort is always full over the weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday are always resorts are booked. So that's why our training are mostly planned in the weekdays. We would have to vacate our resort on Friday by 4 p.m. Okay, so that the other guests can occupy the rooms and all that things. So with that, we end our today's introduction session.